do talk a lot about time management. But here's the truth. Nobody manages time. Time marches on, whether you do something or nothing. You cannot slow it down, you cannot speed it up, and you cannot put it on hold. Time just ticks. So the real question is not how to manage time. The real question is how to manage yourself within the time you've been given. The clock doesn't care who you are. It gives each of us the same 24 hours. Rich or poor, young or old, famous or forgotten, the hours are the same. But the results, the outcomes, the lives we build, those couldn't be more different. Why? Because what you do with the time is really what you're doing with your life. Think of someone who says they don't have enough time. But isn't that strange? The farmer has the same hours as the lawyer. The executive has the same hours as the janitor. The mother raising 3 kids has the same hours as the bachelor with none. Everyone is handed the same amount each day. The difference is what choices get made inside those hours. It reminds me of a friend years ago who always complained about being late. Every meeting, every appointment, he came rushing in, excuses spilling everywhere. And he always said that he just didn't have enough time. But the truth was, he wasn't short on time. He was short on discipline. He was short on clarity. He was short on priorities. Because if you mismanage yourself, the hours will punish you. But if you manage yourself, the hours will reward you. So here's the first principle. Time is the canvas. Life is the painting. You decide what picture gets drawn. And once you understand that, suddenly the conversation shifts. You stop saying, I need more hours, and you start saying, I need to manage my values, my energy, my attention, my decisions. That's life management. You can waste an hour and it feels like nothing, but waste a decade and it feels like everything. That's why small neglects compound. Miss a workout today, not much changes. Miss a workout every day for a year, and your health changed dramatically. Skip making one phone call to a potential client, not much happens. Skip 100 over 6 months and your business starts to shrink. The calendar is a silent witness. It records all those decisions and reveals them later. So when people ask how they can find more time, I tell them that they can't, because you don't find time. You create a life. You don't stumble across hours hidden under the couch cushions. You decide what matters, and you shape your day accordingly. That's the art. That's the challenge. And that's the invitation. Because once you grasp this, once you realize time management is really life management, your urgency changes. You stop treating hours casually. You stop treating days like they don't count. You start weighing them. You start protecting them. And suddenly your results start reflecting a deeper respect for the gift you were given. Most people treat their hours like they're nothing special. Ordinary living is built on ordinary habits. Sleep a little late, hurry through the morning, put out fires at work, watch a little television, repeat tomorrow. Days get filled, but nothing changes. That's ordinary. Extraordinary living isn't about more hours. It's about different use of the same hours. The person who wakes up and asks what they want from this day, what they must protect, what they must build, that person begins shaping the day instead of drifting through it. And little by little, those decisions create an extraordinary difference. The stakes are always higher than people realize. Imagine 2 people starting a business. Both have 24 hours. One uses those hours chasing distractions, half-prepared calls, sloppy bookkeeping, no real plan. The other spends hours sharpening skills, building relationships, reviewing numbers carefully. Same clock, different choices. Fast forward 5 years, and you won't recognize the difference between them. That's life management at work. I once knew a man who was always busy. Every time you asked, he was swamped, overloaded, couldn't possibly take on more. But when you look closer, he was just busy doing unimportant things, answering calls that didn't matter, flipping through magazines, handling problems he could have delegated. Busy, but not effective. And at that same company, there was another man who was deliberate. He guarded his calendar. He chose carefully what he said yes to. He left room for thinking, for planning, for strategy. The first man looked frantic, but his results never grew. The second man looked calm, and his results exploded. Same hours, different life. Everybody wants to be healthy. An ordinary person says they just don't have time to exercise. Extraordinary says they don't have time to be sick. Ordinary says they'll eat whatever's easy. Extraordinary says they'll eat whatever fuels their future. Same grocery stores, same 24 hours. But one is heading for regret, and the other is heading for vitality. Same thing with your relationships. Ordinary says, I'll get around to spending time with family when things slow down. Extraordinary says, I'll slow down because family time is the point. Same evenings, same weekends. But one lets them slip through, and the other turns them into memories that last forever. Here's the dividing line. Ordinary treats time as casual. Extraordinary treats time as capital. Casual people say it's just an hour. Serious people say that hour is an investment. Casual says it doesn't matter if they miss one day. Serious says each day builds the future. The clock reveals who you are. If you manage your life poorly, time will expose it. If you manage your life wisely, time will multiply it. Time is neutral. It never hides the truth. If you keep doing what ordinary people do with their hours, you will get what ordinary people get. If you start doing what extraordinary people do, you will get what extraordinary people get. The gap between them is not luck, not fate, not a secret. The gap is how they manage life within the same hours given to all. One of the most surprising truths about time is this. Sometimes doing less produces more. That sounds backward, doesn't it? We think that filling every hour, cramming every schedule, saying yes to every request will somehow add up to success. But life doesn't work that way. A full calendar isn't the same as a full life. So sometimes saying no is more valuable than saying yes. People who achieve extraordinary results have learned that the hours they guard are more important than the hours they spend. If you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing well. But if you choose carefully, you create momentum. I had a friend in business who finally broke through after years of struggle. When I asked him what changed, he didn't say he discovered a new market or invented a better product. He said he stopped attending every meeting. He stopped returning every call. He stopped trying to please everyone. Instead, he gave his best energy to the few things that mattered most. And that was the year everything turned around. And that's the key. Success isn't built by working longer hours. Success is built by working on the right things during the hours you have. Some people put in 12 hours a day and stay broke. Others put in 6 hours a day and create fortune. It's not the length of the day, it's the intention inside the day. Think about rest. Ordinary thinking says that rest wastes time. But see, someone who knows how time works will tell you that rest restores time. A tired mind makes slow decisions. A weary body makes costly mistakes. But when you rest, you renew. You come back sharper, faster, clearer. So the person who spends all night at the office may look dedicated, but the one who sleeps, rises early, and works with clarity often gets more done in fewer hours. And this may come as a surprise to some, but urgency doesn't equal importance. Many people spend their days putting out fires, little tasks, little interruptions, little requests. And when the day ends, They wonder why nothing important moves forward. Urgent things scream. Important things whisper. If you don't learn to recognize the difference, your life becomes one long emergency. But if you decide to elevate the important over the urgent, your hours begin to compound. I'm telling you, life pays better for the important than for the urgent. Answering every buzzing phone, every flashing email, every knock on the door, that's the urgent. Planning your future, nurturing your health, teaching your children, saving your money. That's the important. The rewards of urgency fade quickly. The rewards of importance multiply for a lifetime. So don't be fooled. Don't confuse movement with progress, noise with achievement, or exhaustion with productivity. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is pause, step back, and ask yourself if that thing is really moving you toward the life you want. That's life management. And the moment you begin to live by it, your days take on a new rhythm. You stop chasing every little thing. You start building the big things. And before long, people look at your life and call it success. But you know the secret. It wasn't the clock. It was the choices. Think of your life like a garden. The soil is your 24 hours. Everyone gets the same soil. The question is, what seeds will you plant? Some plant weeds of distraction. Others plant seeds of discipline, learning, and service. And here's the truth. Whatever you plant, that's what grows. Time simply reveals the harvest. Imagine a bank that deposits $86,400 into your account every morning. At midnight, the account resets. Whatever you don't use is gone forever. Now, if that happened, wouldn't you pay attention? Wouldn't you plan carefully, spend wisely, invest well? Of course. And yet every day life gives you 86,400 seconds. Spend them carelessly, they're gone. Spend them wisely, they multiply into results, wealth, health, relationships. The clock is the most honest banker you'll ever meet. Momentum is built the same way. Small deposits of effort, small investments of discipline stacked day after day. Do 10 push-ups today? Not impressive. Do 10 every day for a year, your strength changes. Save $5 today, no fortune. Save it every day for 10 years, now you've built capital. One good conversation with your child might seem small, but have one every week for a decade, and you've built trust that lasts a lifetime. I'm telling you, life is a sailboat. The wind is time, it blows the same for all of us. But the set of the sail determines the destination. One person sets the sail toward learning, service, persistence, and arrives at a beautiful harbor. Another sets the sail toward laziness, excuses, blame, and washes up on the rocks. Same wind, different direction. The secret is not in controlling the wind, it's in setting the sail. So don't wait for giant breakthroughs. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Build momentum with what you have. Start the project. Make the call. Open the book. Lace the shoes. It's not the size of the first step that matters. It's the direction. Once momentum starts rolling, it multiplies. And once it multiplies, it becomes very difficult to stop. The tragedy is when people use their hours planting weeds, spending seconds on nonsense, setting their sails toward nowhere. Years later, they look back and wonder why their life feels empty. But the answer is simple. Their garden reveals their planting. Their bank account reveals their withdrawals. Their sailboat reveals their choices. The harvest always tells the truth. So let's make it simple. Each day is a chance to plant wisely, to invest carefully, to set the sail correctly. Don't underestimate small beginnings. Don't dismiss small disciplines. Don't neglect small conversations. Stack them, repeat them, protect them. That's how time management becomes life management. Not by controlling the hours, but by controlling the habits inside them. Every worthwhile goal will test you. The moment you decide to manage life better, the obstacles line up. The distractions get louder, the excuses get stronger, and the emergencies show up right on schedule. But that's not the enemy. That's the test. Time will check to see if you mean what you say. Think about it. Decide to wake up early tomorrow, and suddenly the bed feels softer than ever. Decide to start saving money, and here comes the biggest sale of the year. Decide to spend more time with family, and watch how fast the office demands pile up. Obstacles aren't interruptions. Obstacles are the proving ground. They separate intentions from commitments. I learned early on that problems are more like signals. Here's what they are not. Stop signs. If your goal is fitness, the soreness is a signal that growth is happening. If your goal is business, the objections are signals that you're in the arena. If your goal is relationships, the conflicts are signals that you're engaging deeply instead of living on the surface. Every test is a chance to prove you're serious. Here's the danger. Most people think obstacles steal time, but in reality, the obstacle is where character is built. Time doesn't just measure your hours, it measures your response. Waste the challenge, you waste the hour. Face the challenge, you multiply the hour. So don't wish for easier times. Wish for stronger discipline. Don't pray the obstacles away. Pray for wisdom to navigate them. Because if you remove every challenge, you also remove the chance to grow. And if you remove the chance to grow, you've traded your future for comfort. You see, energy rises when you treat obstacles as opportunities. You stop resenting the test and start respecting it. That change of view is powerful. It keeps you moving when others quit. It gives you stamina while others complain. And before long, you discover that the very thing that tried to slow you down became the thing that sped you up. If you're a runner, you know the hills look like they'll drain strength. But conquer the hills, and suddenly flat ground feels effortless. Life works the same way. The obstacles that once felt impossible become the very training that makes the rest of the journey smoother. And that's the real challenge. When something unexpected comes to steal your time, don't just ask how you can get rid of it. Ask how you can grow through it. When the meeting runs long, when the customer cancels, when the car breaks down, don't just lose the day. Gain perspective, gain patience, gain skill. Then the lost hour is not lost at all. It's invested. Every test of time is really a test of life. Handle it well, and you come out stronger. Handle it poorly, and the hours slip away. But if you remember that time management is life management, even the obstacles become assets. The principle of life management is universal. It doesn't belong to one area. It touches every corner. You cannot be careless with time in one part of life and expect excellence in another. The way you do anything eventually shows up in the way you do everything. So whether it's money, health, relationships, learning, or service, the rule is steady. Time reveals your values. If you say family is important, but never schedule time for them, the calendar tells the truth. If you say health is important, but never protect hours for exercise, the calendar tells the truth. If you say growth is important, but never study, the calendar tells the truth. The calendar is the mirror. It shows who you are becoming. And that's why this is more than a business principle. This is life itself. Time management is not about getting more done at work. It's about shaping the destiny of every area you care about. Once you see that, you stop dividing your life into boxes. You stop saying, here's my work time, here's my family time, here's my health time. You realize it's all lifetime, and it all counts. So I'm asking you to decide, and deciding means you stop treating time casually. You stop hoping things will work out and start shaping them. You stop letting others write your calendar and start writing it yourself. Deciding is when you recognize that life is short, the hours are precious, and the cost of neglect is too high. And here's the truth. Most people never decide. They float, they wait, they postpone. They assume tomorrow will be better, but tomorrow doesn't change by accident. One person says they'll get serious later. They'll work on their health later. They'll invest later. They'll spend time with family later. And later never comes. The other person says that this is the day. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when it's convenient. Today. And years from now, the contrast is shocking. One looks back with regret, the other looks back with gratitude. Same hours given, completely different harvests. And you have the choice. The choice to treat time as a toy or to treat time as treasure. To watch life happen or to shape it with intention. No one can make that choice for you. The government can't do it. The company can't do it. Even your closest friends can't do it. It's you. You decide if time is wasted or invested. Time will keep moving whether you like it or not. It isn't waiting for you. It never has, and it never will. The clock doesn't pause while you think it over. It doesn't stop while you make excuses. And it doesn't rewind when you regret. Every day is spent. The only question is, what did you buy with it? If you spend an hour on excuses, you purchase regret. If you spend an hour on discipline, you purchase progress. If you spend an hour on learning, you purchase wisdom. If you spend an hour with your family, you purchase memories that outlast you. That's the exchange. Every hour buys something, and once spent, the deal is final. So don't kid yourself. This is serious stuff. Don't say you'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is only shaped by what you decide today. If you wait for more time, you'll always wait. If you wait for things to slow down, they won't. If you wait until it's convenient, it never will be. The day to decide is today. But remember that you can't really manage time, but you can manage you. You can manage your values. You can manage your focus. You can manage your energy. And when you do, time bends in your favor. The hours serve you instead of punishing you. And if you ever wonder how important this really is, just imagine reaching the end of your life and realizing you drifted when you could have decided, that you wasted when you could have invested, that you lived casual when you could have lived deliberate. Don't let that happen. Let today be the dividing line. Make the hours count. Protect them. Direct them. Fill them with discipline, wisdom, service, and love. Let your calendar tell the story of someone who lived on purpose, because in the end, that's what life really is. The story of how you spent your time.